Oh my goodness. So, it's so interesting. I really love being a minister, a spiritual director. I really, really do. And one of the things I really love about it is when I look back over my journey to my call to ministry. Of course, I was called to ministry right when we had a worldwide pandemic, and now and now with everything else that's going on, and we are, on the precipice of war, right? And I thought, well, isn't that interesting? All those years I was in corporate, and none of this was happening, pretty much. And now that I'm a minister, it's like, whoa, okay, there's a lot to be responding to. So the talk I thought I was going to give is not exactly what's going to happen today, but sort of. We'll see what Spirit wants to say, because some things changed yesterday. So I just want you to know that right now I am feeling like I want to burst into tears. And anybody else feeling that way? Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like I just want to burst into tears is how I'm feeling humanly. Because a lot of stuff just doesn't make sense. It does not make any sense. And yet here we are, right? Here we are. So I just want to tell you how I'm really feeling. But today's talk is called Glow Up. And my staff asked me to please prepare my theme for the month and my talks in advance. So I did them all up for the quarter. And I'm like, like glow up, right? That's what I was going to talk about is not exactly where we are in this moment, but it is. So here's the thing. What I know for certain is no matter what is going on, I know that we are not helpless, and I know that we are not powerless. I know for certain that there is a power that is greater than anything that's happening in the world. I know this for certain. It's not what I think. It's not what I am philosophizing about. It's not theoretical. I know that there's something greater than anything of this world, and that it will have the final word on what happens. And so that is the absolute truth that I know, and I keep coming home to, and I keep coming home to, and I keep coming home to, even in the midst of feeling like I want to burst into tears at the absurdity and the deep sadness of some of the things that are happening in the world. And I think one of the things that is happening for all of us as we evolve as human beings, as we evolve spiritually, is that we have to be able to hold complexity, right? We have to be able to feel like we want to burst into tears at the sadness of what is happening in this human space, and at the same time be anchored in that which is not touched by what is happening, and know that that is also real, right? And part of our being human, part of our spiritual journey, part of our spiritual evolution, part of being a spiritual being in a human experience is we have to stand in both places, right? We exist, it's not even both places, but it's an and, right? There's an and. It's not either I'm spiritual or I'm this. It's like and. I feel this way humanly, and what I know is God is all there is. And God is more powerful than what is happening than any one person or group of people can do. And the more that I align with that, the more that I am aligned with that truth, then the more powerful I become, the better I feel, and the more I connect with other people who are also anchored in that, then that's when we begin to see the world change, right? But right now, this stuff is fresh, right? This stuff is fresh. The things that are happening are fresh, and it's easy to get caught in the emotion of it, right? And it is okay to be in the emotion of it, right? Just don't set up camp there, but it's okay to be however you're feeling, to feel those feelings. This is not about spiritual bypass. It is about feeling the feelings you're feeling, even as you know the truth, right? So this morning, and last night, as I was just in prayer saying, God, okay, what do you want me to what do you want me to say here? I need some words. I need some concepts. I need some things, right? And so what came to me is remembering Michael Beckwith talks about this, and then the book 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership uses this framework that is stages of consciousness, right? Stages of awareness. Michael, I think back in the day, called it kingdoms of consciousness. And so what he talks about, and in the book 15 Commitments of conscious leadership, it talks about these 4 stages of being. So the first stage is the stage of things are happening to me, right? It's a victim consciousness. Things are happening to me, right? And so in that stage, uh, the tapes that are playing in your head are things like, well, I can't do anything about this, and my schedule's, I got too much stuff going on, I got too many things on my plate, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money. If this person would do this, then I would be able to do this, and if these people do that, then and if the economy was better, I could. Right? You hear all these things, yes? So that's kingdom 1, right? Like all these external things have to change in order for me to have a different experience, right? And that is that is the world. The world is kingdom 1. And all you have to do is go look on Facebook to see how much we're embedded and encoded in that. Even people who are spiritual folks are posting on Facebook, and everything is kingdom 1. Yeah. And one of the things that makes me so sad is when I read comments. So I read a lot of different things online, but I really go to the comments to see what are the people, not the intellectual person who wrote the article or the pundit or the whoever, but what are people in the comments saying? Because that's the people, right? In the comments are the people actually walking around. They're not writing the articles, but they're having the feelings, right? That is the collective consciousness. And what I see, and if you would begin to do this, read comments on Facebook, read comments on articles that you're reading, whatever it is that you read. And what I see repeatedly in the comment section are statements like, well, we just have to wait it out until this da-da-da-da happens. Well, now they're going to do this to us, and then they're going to do that to us. And then this is going to have this very sort of sarcastic and sort of, but this continuation, this deepening in that it almost feels to me like how kids talk about a parent, right? Like, well, they're going to do this. And then we're going to have to do this, and they're just going to take all our money, and they're going to do all these things, right? Like all of this conversation is all rooted in powerlessness, right? Rooted in powerlessness. And so if that is the collective, then that is going to be the collective experience. Yes? Are y'all following what I'm saying? Yeah? And so that makes me so sad when I read the comments and I go, oh my God, these people don't know science of mind. They don't know that they have the power to have agency in their lives. They don't know that they have the power to speak up, right? And if you can't even think that you have power, you certainly can't act in a powerful way, right? You can't take an action that's actually going to change anything. And so that makes me so sad to see that. And so I know my work is to hold space for people to get out of kingdom 1 and pop into kingdom 2, which is about things happening by me, right? At least raising up to that by me level. Like I can actually affect some change. I can make decisions about what I'm going to do. I can take control of my schedule. I can be in the driver's seat in my life, right? I can decide what is going to happen next. Right? If we could just get from kingdom 1 of, oh, look at the stuff they're doing. Oh, now look at what they're doing. Now I'm posting this thing. Oh, look at what they're doing now. Look, right? That's kingdom 1 consciousness. If we can at least just get to kingdom 2 that says, well, here's what I'm going to do. Right? Here's what I'm going to do. Because I want you to know I've made some decisions in all of this stuff that's going on. And my mom and I were talking about this last night. And I said, whatever happens, because we do not know what will happen next. Right? We do not know. But I know this. I know for as long as I have breath in my body, I am going to live my life filled with joy. I'm going to show up here as frequently as you'll have me. I'm going to pray. I'm going to know the truth. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to live, right? I'm going to live. And there may be moments where I'm upset and where I'm sad, or there may be moments where I feel like, ugh, right? Because that's just human. But ultimately, this is about life. And so what I want you to get today and every day is this is not an easy time. And I'm not pretending this is all fairy tales and unicorns. That's not what this is. That's not what this is. But each person in this room can decide to live, right? To live your life. So whatever it is that you want to do, you want to start a business, start being about that, right? You want to end a business and find a job, do that, right? You want to launch a new whatever, do that. Right? Whatever it is that you want to do, be about that thing. Life is not promised. And what the actions of a group of humans is showing us is it's even less promised, right? We do not know what will happen. We do not know what will happen, but we have right now. So my invitation to you is to really look at How do you want to be living? I used to sometimes, and I still do sometimes with my clients, I would say to them to help them get really clear about what they desire. I would say to them, imagine you had, this is your last year on earth, right? What would you be doing differently from what you're doing right now? This is your last year. What would you do? And I invite all of us into that, not in a morbid sense, right, but in a sense of, what do I really want to be doing? Am I really living the life that I'm here to live? Am I really living the purpose that I was given? Am I really living out my divine design? Is that really happening? And really look at that for yourself and begin to do that. You might not be able to do it all the way, but you can begin with little micro steps. Like, what is the next step? What is the next step? What is the next step? Because that puts you in the driver's seat. No one has control over your life. No one is the boss of you, right? You are the boss of you, right? You are the boss of you. And there's a bigger boss, the divine, that's really great if you align with that, yeah? But no one is the boss of you. And so really looking at what are you about? Why are you here? What do you want to be doing? Start doing that thing. Don't wait, right? It's never too late. This past week, I think it was this past week or maybe last week, a friend of ours from Phoenix, a singer named Charity Lockhart, was on America's Got Talent, and I posted this on Facebook, so many of you have seen this. And so Charity was on America's Got Talent, and so she did her first song. And well, first she told a little bit about herself. So she's 49 years old, and Charity has a voice that's like Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, and Mariah Carey. Okay. Seriously. I mean, seriously. Like, I really want her to come here, but I'm like, we would be kicked out of the hotel. Because, but that's the kind of voice she has. She's the whistle register. She's an incredible voice. 49 years old. And what she shared, which I didn't know about her, is that she had gone through a really brutal divorce and ended up living, she had to leave quickly and ended up with her children living out of her car. And when Simon asked her, well, how did she, get through that time? She said, all I had was my voice. All I had was my voice. And so I went to sing in bars, and I would sing in clubs, and I would sing at the mall, wherever I could just get some money. And that was the beginning of her digging herself out of that, right? But here's the thing that was so powerful about Charity sharing. She's 49, right? And the world says by 49, especially in Hollywood, especially as a singer, it's a wrap, right? It is beyond a wrap, right? You're 6 feet under at that point. In that world, they want you at 18, 19, 20, right? And so by 49, it is all over. It's washed, right? And here's Charity, this incredible talent, incredible power, who has never given up. She's taken step after step after step in her dream. And there she is on America's Got Talent, and she got the gold buzzer, right? She got the gold buzzer. And I talked with her this week, and she was saying how, it was so interesting because she was saying how nervous she was, and how that was a much bigger stage than she had ever been on. And she was also saying how she did not even want to go on the show, but friends of hers kept pushing her, and pushing her. And she's not attached to whatever the outcome is. But it was just really empowering to see her there at that point of not giving up on what it is she desires. And whether it's, a record deal, or she sings backup for other people, or whatever it is, it just moves her to her next level, right? And it's never too late. It is never too late. And so I want you to get that this is a time now, and I think that this entrance into participating in war invites each of us to really look at, how am I living? Is this really what I want, right? And if it's not what I want, what do I need to do to change that? What do I need to do to start something new? So here's the thing. The talk today was entitled "A Glow Up," right? So on social media, a glow up is. Have you all heard that term, glow up? Yeah, some people. Okay. So on social media, what it means, I see some people laughing. So it means typically an external transformation, like a makeover. That's what it means, right? So it typically means it's like, I was just in a women's entrepreneur group where we did this big glow up, and it's like, like you're going to eat better, you're going to work out, you're going to do your makeup, you're going to do your hair differently, get a new wardrobe. And I am not putting that down. Those are incredible things, right? But that's what a glow up generally is, right? It's this transformation that happens externally. And that is a beautiful thing. And what I'm talking about is a spiritual glow up, right? A spiritual glow up, right? A transformation that happens from the inside out, right? The law of radiance states and says that you must radiate from the inside out the thing that you desire. Yes, and the law of radiance is a precursor to the law of attraction, because the law of attraction brings you exactly whatever you're emitting, that's what it's bringing, right? So if you're emitting negativity, if you are not at peace, if you are violent, chaotic, or whatever, maybe even self-violence, maybe not to other people, but you have harsh words for yourself. If you're emitting that, then you begin to attract that. Yes, you begin to attract that. The law of attraction kicks in. And so the law of radiance is the foundation for the law of attraction. And so really thinking about for yourself how you're aligned with light, how you're aligned with love, how you're aligned with peace. And when I used to do the peace meditation at the previous church, I would say, if you're not peaceful, right? If you're not peaceful, we can't have peace on earth. Not perfect. I'm not saying perfect. I'm not saying fake peace. That's like being nice, right? Nice, right? That's not what I'm talking about. But if you are not at peace within yourself, then we can't have a collective vibration of peace, and we will never have peace. And so the work always starts at the individual level. And so what I'm inviting you into, and this is another way of being in the driver's seat of your life, is to decide now to be a place of peace, right? Or to be a place of light. Because the world needs lighthouses right now. There is such darkness and such fear, and things are swirling. And so lighthouses are needed, right? And so the more that you align with that, the more that you sense and feel and know the presence as yourself, in your cells, in your organs, in the molecules of your being, knowing at that quantum level that you are the light, right? That you are one with the light, and begin to emit that and begin to transmit that, and it shifts the collective. Because if each one of us in this room are purely aligned with spirit, purely aligned with source, purely aligned with light, each one in this room, we shift the entire vibration of this hotel, right? We shift the entire vibration of this block. We shift the entire vibration of this city called Campbell, right? Of this state, of the world. Because what happens here has impact everywhere. And that is why it is so important to do your individual work, because what we're looking at out there is a reflection of the consciousness in here. It's not something happening out there that's separate from us, right? What we're looking at is a reflection of the collective consciousness. The only way to change the collective consciousness is through changing at an individual level. This is just the way it works. And we get confused because we get into that state of separation, and we think, oh, these crazy people are doing this crazy stuff out there. It's like, no. I'm on the planet. How am I contributing to this? How am I being crazy? Right? Where am I involved in this? And again, it may not be in the big ways that we see it in front of us. Right? We may not be going to war with another country, or we may not be enacting violence on other people. But looking at, where am I not being kind to myself, maybe? Right? Where am I being cruel to myself or to someone I love? Right? Where am I inflicting mental violence or emotional violence? Right? How am I involved in this? And then not from a blaming standpoint, but looking at it and going, oh, I see this. I have the power to clean it up. That's kingdom two. That's kingdom two. You are in the driver's seat of your life. And therefore, you are a powerful being. You're a powerful unit in a collective of a consciousness that can shift everything. There's an author whose name is a psychiatrist and spiritual teacher named David Hawkins. And he developed a map of human consciousness. Y'all familiar with David Hawkins' work, right? And so what he talked about is he ranked emotional and spiritual states of consciousness from low to high. So the contracted, sort of fear-based things were, like shame, guilt, fear. Those things are lower consciousness, and then higher consciousness is joy, love, those kinds of things. And so what he did was he gave these states of consciousness a number on a scale from 0 to 1,000. Okay, and so the low vibration, that means below 200, are these feelings: shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, anger, pride, right? Those are the low consciousness vibration. And here's the thing about consciousness: it still manifests. The law is going to execute whatever it is, right? So don't mistakenly think, oh, because it's low vibration, it has no power. No, it has lots of power. Look around, right? Because the law is going to deliver on whatever it's given. It doesn't judge; it just delivers, right? So in this Hawkins scales of consciousness, the higher vibrations are 200 and above. And those are empowering states like courage, which is a big turning point. And that is what we're talking about this whole month here, is the art of courage, right? That is a big turning point, having the courage to make a change. That's a shift from the lower to the higher states of consciousness. And then it goes on to neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason. And once you get to love, which is, he says love is 500 on the scale of 0 to 1,000. Love, that unconditional compassion, right? We're not talking romantic lovey-dovey, although that could be a part of it. I mean agape love, unconditional love. When we get there, that's 500. And then enlightenment is 700 and above. That's Christ consciousness, Buddha nature, oneness. Yes? So here's my takeaway for you. Whether you believe the scale is true or not, let's just pretend it's true, okay? Because the law will deliver. It's done to you as you believe. And so this week, what I want you to do is really be looking at for your life, where are you on this scale, right? Where are you on this scale? Are you hanging out a lot in grief and fear? Are you hanging out a lot in anger and frustration? Where are you hanging out mostly? And then see if you can just move yourself by meditating or practicing your affirmations or calling your prayer partner or watching some great video on YouTube that brings your vibration up, and see if you can get yourself at least to courage, right? Or a little bit above that. Yes? So this is the practice. This is how we begin to shift. This is a workout, right? It is a workout. It is not like a fantasy movie sequence, right? This is not like shifting our consciousness and changing the world is not that beautiful cut of like these two lovers running to each other in slow motion through this beautiful golden field of wheat, right? That is not what this is. That is not what it is. No, it is like, go to the gym, do your reps, right? Like just doing your reps. That's what this is. Like, do your reps, do your meditation, right? Do your reps, do your affirmations, do your reps, go with your prayer partner, do your reps, come to church, right? Do your reps, have a conversation with somebody who's going to bring your vibration up. Do your reps, get the frick off of Facebook and get on YouTube and start watching things that are going to feed your consciousness, right? This is how you do your reps and begin to really elevate yourself to a place and space where you are now a light, where you are now radiant from the inside out, where you are radiating truth, where you are a lighthouse in all of this crazy darkness. And when you are able to do this and flip and transform and do this, the people around you are lifted by you, right? You become a benevolent presence on the planet. But this is how it happens. It happens from us doing our work. Yeah? So this is what we're about here at Silicon Valley. I am so, one of the reasons I think we're here is to be the heart of this region, to be the heart of this place, right? This is a place where so much technology has come up that is changing our world, right? That is changing how we think. That will in some aspects will take over how we live. And so having a place and space of consciousness, of heart-based, of love, of light that's anchored in this region, I think that's why we're here. I don't know why I would leave the Scottsdale golf course I lived on and move here, right? It was it was not, I wasn't just sitting there going, oh, well, I think I just want to move to something like that. Was not it, okay? That was not on my bingo card a few years ago, right? But I believe that there is a necessity for a grounding of the heart center, the heart chakra, a grounding of light and love in this place that is so potent and so powerful and so globally transformational, right? And you are all a part of that. We are all a part of that, right? To be the light, to be the heartbeat, to be the love, to be the spiritual anchor for all of this stuff that we can destroy ourselves multiple times over already, right? Somebody has to be a grown up in the room, right? Some group of people has to be a grown up in the room. Yes? So it's us. It's us. This is our assignment. Do we accept it? Yes. Okay. All right. Wholeheartedly, yes. Yes, wholeheartedly, absolutely. So, beloveds, my talk felt like it was all over the place today, but here's the main thing I want you to get. I want you to get that we are not powerless. We are powerful human beings. We are powerful spiritual beings. And that we are about doing our reps, doing our work so that we're so anchored and so lit up that we can be part of a collective that is going to flip things. Yes. So my ask of you this week is to make your spiritual practice non-negotiable. Spend some time in quiet, in meditation, listening to spirit, listening to God, listening to the divine, and allowing it to tell you and guide you into action. If there's actions you're supposed to take right now, whether it's calling politicians or whether it's marching or whether it's taking care of children, whatever it is, right? Let spirit guide you in that, right? So, but you have to be in communication with it. The third thing I'm going to ask you to do this week is to begin to really look at your life and how you want to live. Because life is for living. How do you want to live? What do you really want? What is played out and time for you to retire it? And have the courage to let it go. And have the courage to run full throttle into what you truly desire. Run full throttle, swing for the fences. Dr. Damon mentioned in the announcements, there's an online summit that I'm producing on behalf of the center called A Woman's Voice. And it is a summit that has 20 plus powerhouse women speakers who are talking about how they've been able to find, own, or elevate their voices. And this is a body of work I started 25 years ago. I'll tell you the story at another time. But this is a body of work that reemerged for me to bring out right now. Because I think we need women's voices on the world stage. We need women's voices as a balancing, right? Just like in our center, we need male voices. Like we need balance. We need the feminine and we need the masculine, right? But this summit is focused on a woman's voice and looking at the kinds of conditioning and other things that keep women from really finding their authentic power and how that can be shifted. So let me just tell you that it has taken a lot of work to put this together, and I have speakers like Marianne Williamson is one of the speakers, Catherine Whitworth Thomas is one of the speakers, Barbara Huson, I don't know if you know any of these names, Marcy Shimoff from The Secret is one of the speakers. So I have a wide variety of women that I have talked to who are part of this event, and it's incredibly powerful and incredibly it's been inspiring to me over the last couple of months of interviewing them and talking with them. And also hearing their stories of how they overcame things that we don't know publicly, right? So it's been incredibly powerful, and it's my way for this community of us swinging for the fences, right? This is going to be a big event. You'll begin to see ads for it and everything, but I just thought this is what I want to do. Like this is what I want us to be doing, and we'll have other kinds of things that include everyone. But this is our first sort of big event online. So I just invite you into that feeling of swing for the fences in your life. Do not wait. Do it now. Go all in, go all out, and do it now. That's what I want to leave you with, because tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. Just go for it now. Can y'all do that? Yes. Are y'all fired up about that? Okay, well, let's turn into prayer.